I think the arts is everything from the moment we get up, we look at a toothpaste tube, that's art, to the moment we might be looking at So You Think You Can Dance at night. The whole day has been all about the arts.
The reason I love the arts is that it's a way to get out of your normal day-to-day existence, and you're just taken outside of yourself and experience something that's just out of the ordinary.
A colleague was directing a play for the Oakville Players, and he said, "Jane, I want you to direct this play." "Oh, I couldn't do that." "Yes, you can." So I did, and I got hooked. The set design is the perfect combination between solo and collaborative creativity, because I get to invent all sorts of neat ideas myself, and then it becomes a communal kind of thing, and the thing just keeps growing like this and gets better and better and better.
I've had a call recently from a woman who was looking for her birth family, and I asked around. I phoned up our 91-year-old volunteer, I phoned up our 100-year-old volunteer to get some information, and I got her the answers. It was really thrilling. It's really tingling to get information like that.
Working at the Historical Society, we just had a person donate a shoebox full of letters that were written home during the First World War. And I think about things like that and say, those things really need to be saved, because we need to learn and to see what life was like if we want to make our own lives fulfilled.
Helping people discover the history of Oakville, make it alive so that they will cherish it and enjoy it.
In 2013, my father passed away, and I started to look after my mom. And a few months after my dad passed, the company had a big change, and I lost my job. So I've been there for 35 years, and I started to just help out over at the Art Center. And it was then that I realized that there's this woman who's 80 years old and has this great vision, and she needs some help there.
We've actually put Oakville on the map for fibre art in the world. Our contacts are in all the continents, with the exception of Antarctica. I'm still trying. I think I'll have to make an extra effort to get there, but you know, we're doing okay.
I worked with Halton community living adults who are developmentally and physically challenged. And one of my ladies I worked with was making some artwork and never looked up, always looked very sad. And one day I said to her, when she was finishing her work, I said, "You know, in the corner there's a picture, you've made a picture, whether you've known it or not, of an archangel." And for the first time in a year, she lifted up her head and gave me the warmest, biggest smile I've ever seen. And it was so heart-rending. And that really moved me, and it was a wonderful moment.
I've always been a volunteer somewhere, and when my kids had all left home too, I thought, well, it looks as if we're going to be staying in Oakville. I might as well learn something about it. And I like the idea of history and really knowing about where you live.
There's such a variety of areas in the society that we can all find something that is of interest.
I was a commuter. I would leave Oakville very early in the morning, get home quite late at night, and I didn't know much about it, although I'd lived here for almost 20 years. So I got involved with the United Way, and I learned a lot more about a lot of the needs in the community. And I think that prompted me to sort of move further into something that might have been missing, and that was my arts programs that are now flourishing in the community.
The Oakville Symphony is made up of just over 80 musicians, and 80% of them are volunteers and the rest are professional. The board is completely volunteer. This organization couldn't function without the volunteers. There would be no orchestra, it just wouldn't happen at all. So if we didn't have people who were willing to spend that time, we would be a much less cultural and rich community.
I'm one of, I think, 3 people in the society who have a lifetime membership. So when I was at Teachers College, I was doing a project on Oakville and the history of Oakville and so forth. It was $100 to have a lifetime membership. Now, $100 when I was 20 years old was an unbelievable amount of money. But I bought a lifetime membership for $100, and it's still good today. And I'm so happy I did at that time because I'm still there and still volunteering there. Absolutely the best $100 that I have ever spent, yes.
My mother introduced me to music, at first to piano, which didn't really excite me tremendously, and then to cello, which immediately I found much more fun. I just looked forward so much to these youth orchestra sessions. We traveled all over the country and even to Paris to play with the youth orchestra, and it was so much fun. And so I wanted my own children and the children here to have that kind of experience.
Volunteering is to be of service to your community, and with that comes friendships, and some of those friendships just last for a long, long time.
Everything I have done has been something to do with my life in the theatre, but it's the fun of being able to share it in something that I feel comfortable with and I know I'll make friends with. I now love the fact I can walk down this town that I didn't know at all, and I rarely walk down without meeting someone I know.
Well, and I think the one wonderful thing about volunteer work is that it's not work. You're spending time with people who are doing what they do because they love it.
Some do it for more the support of someone else, some do it they just like the place. They just want to actually be there, and they feel comfort being there.
I continue to volunteer because it's a win-win situation. You're learning with the person you're working with, and they're giving back to you.
It's a great way to be creative without pressure, and that creativity is a wonderful self-exploration.
One of my greatest moments always is when the small child who's been struggling and not sure whether they can do it, suddenly they realize they can play and the light comes in on their eyes. That is just great for me.
And I think today more than ever, arts are so important because we're in this 21st century where things are changing so quickly, where creativity and knowledge and communication are going to be the foundation of success as you move into these jobs. In some cases, jobs we don't even know exist yet. So I think the arts is huge, and I think to be involved as a volunteer or an audience member or a participant on the stage, they're all vitally important.
It's gratifying. It's a wonderful thing to do. It's an opportunity for us in our lives to give back.
I've volunteered practically all my life. When will I stop? When I'm too old and dottery that I can't. Up until then, I will continue to volunteer.
And it's usually been a couple of people that start a little group and it gets bigger and bigger. Most of the things in this town are run by volunteers. The enjoyable things, the cultural things. I mean, we can't stop.